Hey everyone, welcome back to WrestlePop.
All right, guys, we previously told you how Big Show Paul Wight was signed to AEW. He's going to be doing some commentary, a little bit of in-ring stuff, and now Chris Jericho was recently asked about it, and he did a little interview on it, and he had some very interesting things to say. So here is his full quote about it. People say to me, you can't sign all these WWE cast-offs. We really haven't. If you look when there was that big purge last year, I don't think we hired any of those guys. Nothing against them, a guy like Big Show transcends that. He's one of the most recognizable pro wrestlers in the world. When you're dealing with a new company, if we want to try and get a TV deal in India, for example, who is on the show? Chris Jericho, we know him. Sting, we know him. Paul Wight, we know him. Those are the guys that can open the door to get people's eyeballs on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Darby, Cody, Ricky Starks. He is super valuable in that he has the one thing you can't teach. Two things, because you can't teach someone how to be a giant, but you can't teach someone experience. We have a lot of big guys on our roster, and Paul can help with that. He can also be very funny and charming. A motivated Paul Wight is very dangerous. He doesn't have to wrestle every week, nor should he. But when he gets the call and wants to be there and prove what he can do, he's one of the best big man workers who has ever lived. He's a great signing for AEW, and anyone who doesn't know for sure will have their minds changed very quickly.
Wow, oh wow. That is a very bold statement right there. I love it because I feel like Chris Jericho, he's reaching. He's reaching out of his ass. He's trying to make sense of it all. And I think the truth is, he and Paul Wight, they're probably like good friends, and he knows it's a good payday, and so he's got to put a bow on it, right? Good spin, and I feel like it's a very good spin because Paul Wight, guys, I don't know about you, but I've always felt he's okay. Is he like really gonna change the world of wrestling or something? I don't think so. As an Indian myself, I don't think a lot of people in India really know him, or they don't really care about him, right? They care about Steve Austin or The Rock or maybe, you know, Sting, but I don't know about Paul Wight.
Well, I mean, let's be real. He's kind of a novelty act. Like, can he do some things? Yeah, but I mean, he's not gonna get in there like flying around the ring, doing all the crazy stuff. Like, he's a little bit of a one-trick pony, and I feel like his biggest thing is just that he's big. Like, that's the attraction here.
I feel like he's a jobber, so I'm thinking, what can he teach the AEW guys? Pretty much everything that's probably taught to them, because already AEW has a lot of guys from the WWE, and I'm sure they're passing on a lot of their wisdom. And Jericho, I gotta give it to him. He's really putting a good spin on it. And guys, what do you think about this? Because in my opinion, I always felt he was a jobber. He was, just like you said, a novelty act. And I think he was not really ever motivated throughout his career, because when he was in WCW, he was really green, didn't really know what he was doing. If you listen to his interviews, he says the same thing. He didn't really know what he was doing. It wasn't until he got to the WWE, he said that he finally started to understand what's going on. And I feel like at that point, he had plateaued or peaked.
Yeah, I feel like that too. And I also think it's pretty funny that Jericho said he has a lot of charisma and stuff, because I'm like, I don't really feel like that translates on screen, right? Like, I don't get a whole lot from him. Honestly, he's kind of like vanilla ice cream. There's not a whole lot of anything special there.
So for me, my favorite angle with the Big Show was back in the late 90s with the Boss Man. It was very hokey. What's his name? Big Show was just crying all the time over his daddy and all that kind of stuff. And I feel Boss Man was the one who really made that. And Big Show was just there, right? And it's going to be interesting, guys, because I feel like this is another example of Tony Khan just, you know, paying the big bucks out to all these guys. And it's turning out to be more like WCW all over again.
All right, guys, that's the video. If you like what we're doing here, definitely check out our other channel, 5 Minute Eats. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.